Here's a story from Grandpa for my three favorite little girls, Emma, Ayla, and Audrey. This is a story that's been around for a very long time. In fact, it was very old even when I was a little boy. I love this particular version of the story because the drawings are so beautiful and because it is set in the Arizona desert where I live with all desert animals and desert plants. So here it is, The Tortoise and the Jackrabbit, by Susan Lowell with illustrations by Jim Harris. One fine day, the desert was full of springtime magic. Seeds sprouted, eggs hatched, and cactus buds bloomed. "Ah," said Tortoise, coming out of her burrow, "I feel good. I feel fast." Jackrabbit turned one of his huge ears in her direction. "Silly Tortoise," he laughed, "you drag that heavy shell wherever you go. As for me, I'm free, free, free." Zig! Jackrabbit leaped left. Zag! Jackrabbit sprang right. "I'm the fastest runner in the desert," he bragged. Tortoise looked patiently up at him with her old eyes. "Let's race," she said. Now the other desert animals gathered around. "I'm sure to win," said Jackrabbit. "Prove it," said Tortoise, so they agreed to race. "I'll mark the course," squawked Roadrunner, and off he ran, over the rocky hill, across the dusty flat place, under the mesquite trees to the water hole. "I'll draw the starting line," hissed Rattlesnake as she slithered across the sand. Tortoise and Jackrabbit took their places side by side. "I'll watch from above," called Buzzard high in the sky, while Eagle floated silent as a cloud. Eyeing Jackrabbit hungrily, Coyote volunteered to start the race. 1, 2, 3. Ooh! Jackrabbit bolted away. "Long, low, leap, ho!" he sang, and over the rocky hill he soared in less than no time at all. Tortoise moved her scaly toes up the slope. Scritch, scratch, lump, thump she went. Scorpion peeked out from beneath a big rock. Tortoise inched past a blooming prickly pear cactus, and she trudged around a giant saguaro. High up in its trunk, inside a dark hole, Elf Owl opened one sleepy eye. Tortoise rustled through the desert dandelions and golden poppies, purple sand verbena, and creamy butterfly lilies. Although she loved flowers, she did not stop. "Don't step on us!" cried the ants, scattering. "I won't," sighed Tortoise in her dry little voice as she lumped and bumped along. Meanwhile, Jackrabbit came to the dusty flat place. "Long, low, leap, ho!" he said, and skipped across. By now he'd left Tortoise far behind. Under the mesquite trees he saw a patch of tender, sweet, delicious grass, and he stopped to nibble it. By the time he'd eaten his fill, he felt so drowsy that he lay down in the shade and fell fast asleep. Tortoise plodded down the hill, scritch, scratch, lump, thump. She was tired and hot, but Tarantula waved his 8 furry arms to cheer her onward. At last she, too, came to the dusty flat place. "Help! A terrible fast monster with round black rubber feet. It tried to crush her flat." There was a roar, a smelling of burning oil, and a cloud of dust. When the dust settled, Tortoise crept out of her shell. "Whew!" she said, and she continued slowly and steadily on her way. She passed Jackrabbit still snoozing under the mesquite trees. Suddenly he woke up. He saw all the other animals gathered at the water hole. The quails had even brought their children like little brown eggs on legs. And Tortoise had almost reached the finish line. Jackrabbit flew past a light-footed deer, somersaulted over a stinky skunk, left Gila Monster in the dust, and never even noticed Shy Kangaroo Rat. He hightailed it faster than ever, past hairy pig-like Javelina, and then whoops, he crashed right into Sly Coyote and skedaddled. But long, low leap, oh no! Tortoise scratched across the line first. The desert animals cheered. "Thank you, my friends," said Tortoise. Javelina handed the winner a beautiful spring bouquet of flowers. And slowly, happily, Tortoise ate it. And that's the end of the story. This kind of story is called a fable because it uses animals to tell a story about how humans really act and what happens when they act a certain way. In this story, Jackrabbit was so sure that he was faster than Tortoise that he didn't try very hard to win the race, and sometimes winning isn't about being the fastest, it is about working the hardest. I often think about this fable because in my life I am often not the fastest, but I am often the one who works the hardest, and that gets me where I want to be. Always remember that Grandpa loves you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.